I think this is the fifth video so far. And if you guys like this, just give me a little feedback. If you want me to shut up and not do this anymore, then that's okay too. But anyways, today I want to talk about Sacsayhuaman. Sacsayhuaman is a very, very fascinating place. And it's in Cusco, Peru. And I'll show you a little bit where that is. This is Peru, Lima the capital, Brazil. Machu Picchu is just north of Cusco. In fact, Machu Picchu is lower in altitude. But Sacsayhuaman is a fortress, and it's an incredible fortress because it's built with huge rocks that are perfectly carved and fitted together. Now, we call this type of structure cyclopean because it looks like Cyclops made it, somebody. This is basically what it looks like here. This is the fortress, and these are absolutely huge boulders. They're made of tractite for their gripping strength, and they weigh roughly 50 to 150 tons. Now, to give you some perspective, this is your humble author here, me, Dr. David Weischer, and you can get an idea how big these rocks are. You cannot get a piece of paper or a knife or a razor or between. These are molded perfectly. Now, Sacsayhuaman, which is, of course, a very difficult name to remember, but think of sexy woman. If you think sexy woman, then Sacsayhuaman becomes a little bit easier to remember. Now, in Quechua, Sacsayhuaman means head of the falcon. And the shamans, the religious elders of the Incas, tell us that it was a flying falcon with a beak that melted these rocks into place. Now, of course, that could have been some sort of UFO or high-tech flying object, but nonetheless, that's exactly what it looks like. Now, interestingly, there's this guy. This is Garcilaso de la Vega. He lived about 1539 to 1616 or something along that line. He's a very unique person. His father was a conquistador, Spanish of course, and his mother was an Incan princess. And so he has a very unique background, very unique perspective, very unique education. He tells a very interesting story. He said many, many, many years ago, there was an Inca king who defied the shamans and said, these were not built by space brothers or some unknown civilization thousands of years ago. We could have done this. And so what he did, he set upon to have about 20,000 people move a stone from the quarry. Now the quarry is about anywhere from 5 to 50 miles away, and it's got to go through a valley, up steep cliffs. Now, mind you, the Inca had no pulley, no ropes, not even animal carts. So pulling 150-ton rock and then molding it perfectly into shape, well, that's kind of a stretch. Anyways, in the process, he lost 15% of his men. They died in the process, and that stone didn't even get to the fortress. And it sits by himself alone, and it's called the Weary Stone because it never made it. Obviously, the Inca couldn't do this because if they did, they would have no more empire left because everybody would have died in the process. But anyways, he wrote a book. It's called The Royal Commentaries of the Inca, and I had it. I would show it to you, but I've lost it. But it's all in his book, and this is Garcilaso de la Vega. Very, very interesting fellow. Now, this is an interesting picture here. I wanted you to see this picture because you can see how steep these stairs are. I went up these stairs. This goes to the inside of the fortress. And you can see that in order to climb these stairs comfortably, you have to be about 9 feet tall. And don't forget, the ancient shamans said that Viracocha was a tall man, and these space brothers, as they call them, were tall people. And so this fits it very well. Now, there's another spot in Cusco. This is called Hatunrumiyoc Road. Now, how do you remember Hatunrumiyoc? That's a tall one to remember. Well, think of this. If you drink rum with your hat on, it's yucky. So, Hatunrumiyoc Road. Now, you notice here, this is a wall here built by the local Indians during the time of the conquistadors. This side is a wall built, according to the shamans, by the Space Brothers. You can see the obvious difference here. Incredible. A lost art, no, for sure. On this road this is called the 12 Corner Stone. It's very famous. You see people there all the time taking pictures of it. But this is the famous 12 Corner Stone. Now, you can get a lot of this, of course, in Zecharia Sitchin's book here, The Lost Realm. Great book. Of course, my book, shameless advertising. Sorry about that. And also I've got here's the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is a tremendous book. And it really explains the 6th chapter of Genesis. Moses gives us the Reader's Digest version. But the Book of Enoch, which is a very sacred text, by the way, it was sacred to the Essenes because the Qumran cave findings are from the Essenes. And there's evidence that Jesus was an Essene as well. So a very sacred book. And it explains very clearly about what is written in the 6th chapter of Genesis. Remember, Moses talks about, and the sons of the gods looked upon the daughters of man and saw that many were fair and took as many wives as they wanted. Well, they were larger people, and it's described very, very well in the Book of Enoch. Anyways, I hope this has been of interest to you. I think the next time I do this video series, it's going to be on near-death experience, and I'm going to talk about a patient that really changed my perspective about the brain. And I no longer believe that the brain is the origin of human consciousness. And I'm an expert on this. I'm a neurologist with quite a few decades of experience. But anyways, I hope you found this enjoyable. Thank you very much.